The truth is not just about bad economics. It's about pride. It's about revenge. It's about what happens when a nation loses faith, not just in its government but in value itself. This is the story of Weimar Germany, the inflation that didn't just bankrupt a nation. It fed a dictator. The wound that wouldn't heal. The year is 1918. The guns of the First World War have finally fallen silent. Germany, once a mighty empire under Kaiser Wilhelm II, stands defeated. For 4 years, the nation had poured everything into the war. Men, machines, money. The cost? Over 2 million German soldiers dead, millions more wounded or missing. Cities were exhausted, resources drained, morale shattered. But the worst blow was still to come, not from bullets but from paper. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in June 1919, didn't just end the war, it branded Germany as the villain of Europe. Under the treaty, Germany was forced to accept war guilt, full responsibility for the conflict, and pay reparations so massive, they were almost impossible to comprehend. The sum, 132 billion gold marks, roughly $33 billion US dollars at the time. Adjusted for today, that's nearly $500 billion. It was, in short, a death sentence for the German economy. But here's where the tragedy begins. Germany didn't have that kind of money. It couldn't just conjure gold out of thin air. So, the government did something desperate, something that would change history. They began to print. A dangerous idea. At first, the logic seemed simple. Printing money, after all, could help pay debts, rebuild cities, and restart the economy. The government argued, we owe money in gold marks, but we can create paper marks. A temporary solution, they said. Just until the economy recovers. But there was one fatal misunderstanding. You can't print wealth. You can only print paper. And every new note that rolled off the presses made every other mark worth a little less. Still, to the politicians of the newly formed Weimar Republic, this wasn't economics. It was politics. Because Germany wasn't just broke. It was humiliated. Crowds filled the streets shouting, "Down with Versailles." Newspapers called it the Diktat, the dictation of foreign powers. To the average German, reparations weren't just payments. They were a chain, forged by Britain and France, to keep Germany weak forever. So, when the Weimar government began quietly inflating the currency, many saw it as a subtle act of rebellion. A way to pay the Allies back, with worthless money. In Berlin, the presses began to roar. The Reichsbank printed mark notes faster than any mint in history. By 1920, there were 66 billion marks in circulation.